Hi guys, I'm in my backyard today. I know I look a bit of a mess. It's pretty sunny, but it is 75 degrees out, Fahrenheit of course. And I'm going to show you my garden today. I'm in front of some of our ivy right now, which, sorry there's cars, but I'm going to just show you kind of part of it, not a whole tour, just kind of what I've got going on for fall. So let's go. Here's my radishes. This is, on this side, it's the Rivoli radishes, and on this side is the Roxanne. I have them separated by some of those large popsicle stick tongue depressors things. So first, I'm gonna kind of do a sweep of the garden so you can kind of try to get a view of everything in it. Kind of go up to the trellis there where my wind chime is that I put the pretty decorative stone at the bottom. And then, so you can get kind of an overall picture of it. And there are some leaves in there. The neighbors have this fig tree, and as you can see, it's right in the corner of our yard. So I don't have much control over the leaves falling in my garden. I do try to pick them up every day, but whatever. So this is a Brandywine tomato here, pink Brandywine. I got it real late at the end of the summer season, so I didn't expect it to really grow. I mean, it's grown, but I don't know that it'll ever produce fruit before it's time for it to die, but I got it on real clearance, so it's looking promising with some of these flowers on it, but I don't know. Then I'm gonna try to make this not too long, but you know, I'm gonna try to not get my shadow too much in the way. These over here are red onions. I got them as starts. These plants. I got them as starts, meaning they look a lot like, I think they're called chives or shallots or something, where they look like a tiny little onion at the bottom, and then they have this greenery coming up. And they come like that when you buy them, with the greenery already on them and everything. And you just plant them with the little oniony looking part at the bottom, and then over time they grow into a full-on onion, and the greenery gets bigger and stuff. And then there's another way you can buy onions, which is as bulbs, where they look like, basically like a garlic, a piece of a garlic bulb. Not the whole bulb, a garlic clove, excuse me. And I'll talk about that in a minute. This is a green zucchini. Nothing really going on there, just the leaves right now. These are some marigolds I grew from seeds, with the exception of, sorry, that little one was from the store in a 6-pack. I grew that marigold from seed as well. These seem to be much bigger than the ones I got at the store, although they look very similar, the flowers themselves, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. Okay, this here is a yellow crookneck squash. It's very small. It's a summer squash, and so you're not supposed to be growing it in fall, but I don't know. I thought I had enough time left in summer to grow it, and this is actually the second plant I grew in that space because the first one died. I don't remember how, but it did. And so it's so warm here, like even now it's 75 degrees and it's super sunny. Like, I'm kind of warm out here. Then this is another yellow crookneck squash that has been growing here longer than that one. Obviously it's bigger. And if you look, you can see the actual squash down there. And if I'm sorry I'm shaking. And if I stick my hand down here, very gently, you can kind of see, I don't want to pick it accidentally, but you can kind of see how big it is compared to my hand, right? Not very big. But it's growing, which is good. It's got more flowers on there. So then, here, this is what's called a provider bush bean. It's got a little bit deformed there, but some good beans on it, growing on it. I had to pick some of the leaves off and like tear that one and that one in half. And then they browned, and like you can see where I tore them off because they were getting the leaf miners, which is when you have those like lines in your leaves that look like an animal's chewing through them, and those are spread through your whole plant and like really mess it up. So when you get those, you have to like tear the leaves off. Or I guess you don't have to, but if you want your plant to survive well, you do. And then this is another provider bean here. It's hard for me to see the screen because it's so bright out here. So sometimes I can't see if I'm pointing the camera at the right thing, so I apologize. And it's got not beans on it yet that I found, but it's got some flowers, so it's looking promising. Then this is a blue lake bush bean. And when I say bush bean, it means it grows in a bush as opposed to on a vine. And it's got some little spots on it there that look like they're gonna go into flowering and stuff, but nothing yet. And then these are my Kentucky pole beans. And there's, as you can see, there's 3 of them there. The one in the middle is only grown to about right there, while these 2 have grown past the top of the trellis, which is right there, that arch, up to the top of the fence, and then over and over. And I had to cut back my flower vines. These were way over here to about that post there. And I had to cut them way back so that the beans would have room. And I've had to keep them trimmed because they like to roam. And so these have some beans. There's, what in the world was that? Sorry guys, someone called me and it scared me half to death. I was gonna say something else. It scared me half to death. And so obviously it cut me off. So as I was saying, there's a big bean here. And this one was actually kind of like hiding behind the fence. It was like over the other direction and hiding behind this fence here, so I didn't see it. But I just noticed it like day before yesterday, I guess, on Sunday. And so then there's these beans that are still pretty small, and there's a little bitty bean up here. Where is it? Oh, right there. See it? And then there's a bunch of flowers all over the place, really. Not a ton, I guess, but there's some on the other side of the fence there. Then there's places like this where there's kind of buds. And so, even that one's got a little place getting ready. Then if we kind of keep going this direction, well, and then I guess I'll show you, this is like it's plastic, but they kind of flap. And then on the outside, it's still real pretty. And that's what the inside used to look like before it got bleached. And then this one is one too, but it's still pretty on all sides. It didn't, I mean, it's been in the sun too, but I guess that kind of plastic isn't like painted or something. It's just the plastic is actually that color. So I don't know. And then my sunflower over here, I got at a gardening store in Green, Texas. It's small town, not my favorite gardening store that they have there, but it's not really a gardening store. It's like an antique store, and they just have some of that stuff outside. So then on my trellis, I've got some more of my cardinal climbers. Just one of them survived when the trellis fell over. This is a Swiss chard that my father stepped on when he was back here having to do some work at the water meter. And then I put this random marigold here because I had one extra in the little 6-pack we bought and I didn't have anywhere to put it. And then I've got my rosemary that's been here since not since I made the garden obviously, but since I made it this spring. Redid it this spring. Because this garden's been here for like a long time, years and years and years. Then this is a pea plant, sugar snap. On everything that I can't just like the marigolds, like I know that, or in the rosemary, I know that by sight. So on everything, like I know that's a pea, but I'll forget what kind, I put little labels. These are my cucumbers, and oh look, a bee. Can you see him buzzing around right over there? Good, a pollinator has come to visit. I don't want to bother him right now, but I do want to show you guys, so he will come back. So these are my cucumbers. There is, I hope you guys can see, let me lean over. I don't want him to sting me either, though I am allergic to bees. So the plant is planted kind of in the middle there, in the center of it, underneath the thing. Oh, and I did make these cages. This is the second time I've had to record this video, so I've forgotten kind of what I've said and what I haven't. I did make these cages. I bought a big old bundle of wire, and it was already this tall, and then I just cut it the length I wanted it to be able to wrap it, and then I just took some, where's the end of it? Oh, it's over here. Some wire, and I couldn't find the regular wire, so I had to use my beading wire. As soon as I was done, I found it in the drawer inside with the wire cutters, the other wire cutters than the ones I had used. And I grabbed some of my beading wire and I just wrapped it around and around and around and around where the two ends met to make this little cage. And I like it better than using like a tomato cage because there's more room, more places for the things to grab. Because these cucumbers are much smaller. They're called burpless cucumbers. They're not going to grow as long as like the ones you usually find in the grocery store. They're like 8 inches. Those are like super 8s. Oh my gosh, there's like 2 or 3 bees here. How exciting. Sorry, I get excited about the pollinators because obviously that's what makes them grow. So if you can see, there's a cucumber right there growing. I hope it's focusing all right. And you know cucumbers, when you see them, they have kind of bumps on them a little bit. They're not like perfectly smooth. That's what all those little bitty bumps will turn into. And then at the end of that, that's what the flower. And then there's another one, there's an itty bitty baby right here. Itty bitty baby one right there. There's more than these I'm showing you, but then I just want to show you this one. This one's been here that I've noticed the longest. And so its bumps are really kind of moving down. They're not as like, they don't look so much like protrusions anymore. They're more natural. And then this part up here is turning a darker green and the flower has fallen off. So it's looking more and more like a cucumber. So I've been helping to train these up because they're not so big. I don't want them growing on the ground because they'll take up more room that way, less planting space. But I've just heard that trellising them is a valid way to do it if you've got smaller cucumbers. And I thought it may, okay, I was talking about those leaf miners earlier, right? That, let me see if I can zoom in. That there, the little kind of whitish spots there, lines, that is from a leaf miner. I'm gonna have to cut that leaf off, or at least that corner, that kind of end of that leaf, because that will spread. And you have to watch out for the eggs, because once it's there, like once you see the proof of it like that, spraying it, doing anything like that, it's not gonna get rid of it because they're already in the leaf. At least that's what I've heard and read. So anyway, if we move on, I've got my other rose bush, and then there's that rose bush too. Those were both transplanted from our old house. We like dug them up out of the ground and brought them over here. Like, I don't know, like, what was that, like 15 years ago or something? And another leaf falls. So then here is another one of the bright light Swiss chards that I showed you earlier, but this one's yellow instead of being the, hang on, instead of being the pink color that one is over by our playscape. This one's more of a yellow color. And then I know there's a lot of leaves here. I haven't picked them up yet today because I haven't been feeling all that great. But everywhere that so ignore those. So everywhere that there's a popsicle stick, one of those big ones, I use those to mark when they're going to be temporary markers, not markers I'm going to keep there forever. But if I took those out, I wouldn't know exactly where I had planted them because they're not, there's nothing to see right now. It's just like the seed. But it's not good to transplant these onions. So they're yellow onions. And earlier when I was talking about the two different ways of planting them, how I had done the starters over there, but the bulbs here, these are the bulbs. So there's nothing to see because it's completely buried. There's no greenery coming up. So at each spot where I planted it, and behind it, I put a marker that says yellow onion, and then whatever way the writing is facing, that means the plant is in front of it. So like these three are facing this direction, but then like that one there, if you see, you can't see the writing on it because it's facing that direction. That means the plant is over there between the marker and the fence. So I think there's 12 of them over here. Yeah, there's 12 of them over here. Some over here, there's one right there, there's one right here, one right here, then there's one right there. And then between the rose bushes, you can see there's one of the red onions right there, and that's where the red onion patch is, along with the other one that's in the back over there. So now if I kind of backtrack, I sort of skipped over this marigold that's right here. I planted that from seed. It's never flowered. It's not strong enough to hold its weight up because it's so tall. I don't know what the deal with it is. And then this, I can't remember if I showed you this in this video or if it was the last one where I was talking about it, but I got this at my favorite garden store in Green, garden and garden accessory type store. And then that's also where I got that just recently, just this Saturday. And then this bee I got up there a while back. At the same time I got that sunflower that's over there. But this and the spinning one I got at one shop, and the sunflower I got at a different one. So if I kind of backtrack, being careful not to step on anything, and I know you're not supposed to walk in your garden like this, but I really don't have a choice if I want to get to everything because of the weird shape it is and everything. Then I can kind of show it to you again. And there's the thing spinning. I love that. I've wanted a spinning one for a long time. Oh, and a bird's visiting. And a butterfly. How nice. So then we can kind of go over here, and I've got more cardinal climbers and my calendula and a dahlia, but then I planted another of the, this is actually a rainbow Swiss chard. So this is the only one of my rainbow ones that I planted from seed that has grown to any significance. The other ones all just stayed really puny. Only like 2 or 3 inches tall, and they just like won't, they're not even like, the stalks aren't even strong enough to hold them up. And then a lot of these plants that I have over here, I've got, like you can see, the rocks, not those tiny ones, but like the bigger ones. Those are like some form of quartz or rose quartz, or that one over there I believe is a sunstone by the dahlias. Some of them, I admit I don't know what they are, but I don't really care because I've charged them with my own energy. And these are all dahlias here, these flowering ones. And some of them are falling over because they're just so top heavy. I need a dead head of those now because they're just starting to die. But yeah, and so I charge those with my own energy to help the plants grow. And then on this side over here, I've got, of course, my other cardinal climber growing great. And oh my God, those birds. And then this is a couple types of lettuce here. And then this was another type of lettuce. This will be the 3rd time I'm replanting it because the stupid birds. I thought it was a rabbit digging it up, but yesterday I caught a bird pecking at it. And as you can see, they've like dug it. Like, look at that, they've dug it. I don't know, I didn't know birds liked lettuce. I've never had this happen. This is like what, the 3rd? Well, it's like the 5th year I've grown lettuce, but it's the 3rd year in a row. I grew it last year and the year before, and neither of those years or the other couple years I've grown it, or the other year, like that was a couple years before that I grew it, had any trouble. No animals have ever dug it out of my, and I've always planted it in pots, just these same pots, or orange ones just like them, so I don't know. And the flowers that are, the red in there is just these flowers that have died and fallen in there, which I pick out every day. But I moved them from a different area of the yard because I thought a rabbit was getting in and eating them. And I thought if I moved, I could, maybe they wouldn't figure out where they were. But now that I've known it's the birds, I really don't know what to do. If anyone has any advice on that, about birds pecking at your plants, how do I stop them? I know I could put mesh or something over it, but is there like an easy way to do it without having to buy something? I'd love it if y'all could give me some tips. Okay, so as I was saying goodbye in the last clip, I realized there was something else I really wanted to show you guys. This is my purple cabbage. I forget the technical name of it. I'm so sorry, my hands are so shaky. I'm really not feeling that great today, and I get shaky when I don't feel great. Go away, fly. This is a purple cabbage. It's been doing pretty good. I've got a couple more back there, but they got real rained on, and that's some dwarf kale, but that's not real important right now. And then I've got a couple more Swiss chards here, and as you can see, this is one of those ones I planted, and it's like done the best out of any of the ones, other than that one I showed you that I planted. Like the other ones like didn't even get this big. So then the main event over here is, yes, I realize it looks terrible, but you have to put some kind of mulch on it. So I did garlic, purple Italian garlic in this orange one, and then behind it is purple, sorry, not purple, is music garlic. That's, the music is just the type. And sorry, there's flies all over me over here. These kind are good to plant in the fall, garlic I mean, and I should have looked before I showed you, but I believe it's the music garlic is a hard neck variety, and the purple Italian is a soft neck variety, or it might be the other way around. I've got the things, the little papers that came with them inside, but anyway, you don't generally plant garlic in containers, but you have to plant them like the bulbs 2.5 inches deep or something like that. And so these containers are plenty deep. So, and I used them last year, used one like this last year to plant them, and the garlic came out good. So there's like 4 in each of these, you know, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and same in this one. So I think these are going to be really exciting. I've never planted hard neck garlic before, And last year I had to harvest my garlic a little bit early because it was just got too rained on. So I'm going to try to prevent that this year, but I really wanted you guys to see that. And also, I'll just show you real quick over here. I'm trying to grow some radishes over here to make up for the ones. I planted radishes before, and they got rained on so bad that the stems like got pelted into the soil, and then like got messed up so that they wouldn't grow, basically. And then this is some arugula I'm trying to grow. It's not doing that well. And then this is more arugula that's doing even worse. And then this back here is spinach. But if you look, you can see all the leaves are like eaten off. So I don't know, like, do birds eat that shit? Seriously? Like, I realize some of that is like that right there, that tiny little stuff right in the center of the screen. It's like new growth. That is bird seed that the birds have dropped in there. But like, look at that plant right there. That one kind of in center screen and that one next to it. Those have been eaten off and then started to grow back. And same with that one and that one. And it's happened multiple times. And like, I've come out here like with the lettuce before, they'd be a little bit eaten like that and then a little bit more. And then they were so eaten, they were like ripped out. So I thought it had to be a critter, but then the other day I caught the birds doing it. So I don't know. So this is just my little area over here. And I used to have the lettuces like right here. The 3 lettuces right there. And that was before I put the garlic over here too. The day I put the garlic over here, I moved the other stuff, the lettuces over there. So I'm gonna have to try to replant that one type of lettuce. But anyway, if you guys have any advice on how to keep critters out of like pots like this, and I cannot put them up on a table. I have no tables. So, and I don't know, like, I don't know what to do. So any advice would be greatly appreciated. Hope you guys had a great day and enjoyed this little video.